Hi guys, welcome back to Kit Car Duets and MK Sportscars. I tell you what, we're going to scoot into the workshop now and see where we're going. We've got left-hand drive car buttoning up. That's going to be on next, so stay tuned. Dax Rush, 400 horsepower Audi engine. Another near 400 horsepower MAZDA turbo we're going to be talking about. And then over here, we've got hashtag Project Charles and hashtag Project Greg. And what you don't want to miss also is a test drive in our old RX5 demo car. Stay tuned.
Indy RX5 test drive, take one. You join me in the Indy RX5. This was our old demonstrator vehicle that we built in 2019. It's been upgraded by the current owner to have padded leather seats, windscreen, wind deflectors. It's been completely lined inside and out. This is the 140 brake car, and it is incredibly smooth and comfortable. What a beautiful little touring car. Well, for 140 brake, it's still pretty nippy. So this has got all the standard clocks inside it. Oh, and some air horns. This is such a super smooth car. It is handles these bumps like it's on rails. It's brilliant. What a great bit of fun. Very comfortable in these seats as well, I have to say. Very comfy. I'm not getting blown about. This is like a hybrid of a windscreen and doors package. You don't get blown about quite so much with these little deflectors on here. But it's still nice and nippy. I'm open, but I'm not open, if that makes a lot of sense, which probably doesn't. I've forgotten how good this car actually was. This is brilliant. I love it. 2 if you want to go faster. The undulations of the road, this independent rear suspension, it just grips. It's really good. So what makes it nice to drive? Steering is ever so positive. Comfortable driving position. My arm is quite comfortable. The gears are, as you'd expect with an MX5 gearbox, absolutely on point. It's not creaking at all. Controls are exactly where I need them. I can just flick the indicators or flash the headlights. I can see my speedo, that's bang on. Nice big gauges. So comfortable, you can feel it bobbing down. It just bobs down, grips the road. Really planted, super duper planted car. one like this, starting prices of this car are currently running at 8,780 for the base model, and that's for everything. You'll need a donor car, and then you'll get basically everything else with it to assemble a car, and it will be exactly like this one. As we said in other films, this particular car has got several upgrades to it. Front brakes, Pro Race 1.2 wheels, the seats, etc. But for the standard car, it starts at 8,780 with standard MAZDA clocks, MAZDA wheels. It is a very, very nice car that you can build at home in your garage just by taking apart the donor car, as you've seen, and installing the engine, gearbox, differential, drive shafts, rear uprights, front uprights, all those bits and pieces off the Mazda into a car like this. And then you too can enjoy the sun. If you want it on the road, if you want it for the track, there's also the upgrade path that you can do up to the 250 horsepower turbo, and you can go big turbo as well, which will be later revealed in some of our other films. So there's plenty of options there for you to get you into a car like this if you want to build one yourself, or if you want to buy one that's already done. We can accommodate most things. Just give me a call and I'll see what we've got available at the time. But in summary, on a nice sunny day like this, with a sort of a half touring pack on, this car is a very, very comfortable ride. It's sucking up these bumps that we go along, and I'm super impressed with it. You don't have to go mad, you don't have to drive fast. It is just a really comfy ride. Skirt!
If you like what you see and you're into your kit cars, guys, then why not subscribe to our channel? Press subscribe, click on the bell icon, press all, and it'll send you notifications each week. Right guys, standing over the RX5, let's start off here, shall we? Well, we're buttoning the car up really, as you know, it went through IVA, and it's had its little stripe pack, Bumblebee stripe pack, put on. Very popular, the yellow and black, and I can't say, does look good. Carbon stone goes, black stripe kit, GT pack on it. It's the left-hand drive going out at front. So a few little test drives to be done on it, which we're doing now, ironing out any little niggly problems. That's the whole thing. And then, yeah, we'll phasely send it over to the borders. So yeah, it's looking killer. The back in yellow does look good. As soon as you put these stripe packs on it transforms the car. Obviously, we're doing a few different colours. So if you want to transform your car, you know, it'd be a red stripe, orange stripe, black stripe, blue stripe, green stripe, etc. We do them and they're available. Right guys, standing over the Dax Rush here. If you've been subscribing for the last year or so, you probably would have seen this car in with us, transition where we built it. It was a yellow and black, etc. And it's in now, ready for its final stages. It's been off and had some engine work, some mapping done and everything else. And of course, it's been wrapped in this awesome blue. It's really nice actually, in this electric blue, with a sort of anthracite stripe on it, which does go over the bonnet as well. But Audi engine, 1.8 BAM engine, stonking. I think they used them in the Seats and Audi TTs, etc. So the reverse plenty, it was all fabricated, all the exhaust system was all fabricated. I do believe it got near 400 horsepower. in this, and I know what it goes like because we've got our demo car that's near that number, so it's going to be absolutely bonkers. So what we're doing now is going through the car, detailing it, etc., and IVA prep now, really. So doing all the procedures that, if you haven't already logged on to our IVA video on YouTube and you've subscribed, you've seen it. If you're putting your car through it, it's worth a look. And we basically use that as a reference. We've got the manuals, but we use a reference for this to button it all up, get it all working, and make sure it all complies. You've got to put a CAT system on it as well, because for IVA and emissions, some emissions tuning to do as well. So yeah, I've got to say though, it does look good. It's up on the jacks because Peter's on with it now, going through it, checking everything over. We'll do test drives on it, make sure it's all good. Brakes feel strong on it, it's fine. But yeah, there's the original yellow colour that it was, and you can still see the interior parts that were yellow. But so to say, if you've signed it before, you'll be familiar with this car. Maybe we'll get out for a run in it at some point once it's all registered, and we get Martin back here with his car, and we'll have a little test drive, see how the older turbo, look at that freaking thing sticking out there. It's monstrous, monstrous. So yeah, looking forward to that one, and looking rather sharp in the blue. Right, over here at the RX5 Turbo, a few little changes that we could do. We said we're putting a GT pack on it. Well, the screen's gone on now. We'll put some either doors on it or the wind deflectors. Not sure which way we're going to go in a bit. We've put the Superlight new custom wheels on it. They're awesome, look at them. Superlight, that's the lightest wheel we can find. I don't think you'll land it very well. I think you might get under there. That's just on there because we're going to be changing the wheels and tyres on this. With that kind of horsepower number, as you say, we know we got 376 horsepower, but it's been dialed down to 308. We're just going to be spinning tyres, so we need a bit of meat on the back and the front. So at the moment, we're getting new tyres and wheels combinations sorted out. So that's why I'll show you once they're buttoned up on that as well. So yeah, a few little bits to tidy up and everything else, but it's all running, all driving perfectly now. More than I ever need. We've test drove it. It's crazy, just mental. But it does poodle along at low speeds, really nice, super quiet as well. So it's a bit of a sleeper, this car, because you couldn't tell what's going on really. Wolf in sheep's clothing, as they say. So yeah, fantastic. But the screens, they fit nicely and it protects you a little bit. But I'm an aero screen man myself, but you know, I'm a fan of that. But got to say, looks sharp, looks sharp. Right, over here at hashtag Project Greg, doesn't look like much has changed really, because we've been wiring still again, stripping the booster looms, which has been done, and a few little sensor issues that we're just trying to diagnose. This is why the stop clocks are in here, because we can get any check codes up there if need be as well. But it's mainly wiring one with, and we've made a template for the boot cover because it's having a custom boot cover we're making, and we'll be making them permanently really for the FIA cages. So we've made a new template for that. I think it's up there. It's only a cardboard template, but you know, it works. And we'll get that over to our upholstery company, and that will fit on, and this will be the template that we've made for it. We'll get that over there and get the boot cover made for that as well, but everything else is sort of buttoned up really. The only thing I will say is on the front here, and a few people ask about rose joints and questions like that, and what's the benefits as well. So Greg's gone for an RR chassis with rose joint suspension. Well, the rose joint really helps with granular adjustment. It's a bit stiffer, and if it's on track, this will help on track work. It's a bit stiffer on the road, but obviously there's no forgiving if it's got a poly bush. So when we head over to Project Charles, you'll see that's a bonded type poly bush in there. Then that is a bit more forgiving on the road, but also it just makes it a little bit more comfortable. But obviously there's zero flex or zero movement in it compared to a rose joint, which is on here. So rose joint really, if you're out and out tracking it and racing it, and it's all you're doing with it and not much road use, perfect. On the road they can be a little bit more stiffer, but it does allow for minuscule adjustments on caster and toe and alignment and towing in on the rear and etc. Whereas on the rear on these they're a bit more fixed, so it's set and you can't dial it in. But if you're not a racer and that's what you're trying to achieve, lap times and milliseconds, you don't really need it. But if you're looking for the ultimate, then the rose joint's the way to go. Let's move over to next project. Right guys, over at hashtag Project Charles, big booster RLM as we know, that's on here. We're in the final stages of this car, buttoning it up as well, but electrics and things like that. But bonnet is being fitted now. Joseph's actually fitting the nose cone. It's a newish style. It's the prototype one, the first one out of the batch. So the nose cone is going to fit in a different way We're just going to show you now. So we've got riv nuts into the fiberglass side panels here, and 3 or 4 button heads on the side, which will make it quicker and easier to get it off. No more coming in from the top or the side here under the bonnet. You can actually just fix it from the sides, and no trimming of the side panels. It just slides on over. You don't have to pull the side panels in here. Normally we pull these sections in, like on this one here. We've got a crease inwards, whereas these are dead straight and it just slots over. And 3 or 4 button head screws, nice and clean, and tighten those up, and your nose cone fitted. So you can actually take it off pretty darn quick. So it makes a big difference. But also, we've been on with the electrics on this particular car, and she runs. So do you know what? Let's fire her up. Right, so RLM Booster, Charles's car here. We're going to go for the fire up, I think. So ignition on, digidash in here. That's all wired up, fuel pumps running, etc. So we'll press the big go button. She's running. Which is great. It's the first little hurdle. It's got the MBE management on this, got our loom integrated into it. It's a temporary battery on there at the moment just to fire her up. So when we put the bulkhead on and everything else, we'll get the little race battery on it as well. And obviously it's got the flat shifter system on it with the solenoid in here and everything else. So a few little coolant lines to button up now and some other bits and bobs. But yeah, she'll start getting on to the final phases now. Plumbing in the electric water pump, just a wire for that and the last bits of plumbing. But yeah, she's all running, that's fine, and then it'll be dropped onto the ground probably in the next week, and then start doing geo and other things like that and prepping for IVA and emissions and stuff like that. So yeah, sounds great. Engine, you know, what booster doesn't really, but it's going to make some monstrous noise on track coming up soon for hashtag Project Charles. I hope you enjoyed the test drive on the RX5 there, guys. And if you want to get into one of those cars and want more information, I suppose, about any of the cars in the range, the Phoenix, the Falcon, Striker or the Indy, then hook us up on a phone call and email. If you're pressing that subscribe button down there, of course, you'll see what goes on every single week. And the turbo car that we've got over there, yes, awesome. If you want to have a little drive out in that with us in a passenger ride, hot lap, as we say, should we say, then give us a phone call again or an email and we'll accommodate you where you can. But Saturn Track Day was awesome. Blindly hot. Link up there for you if you want to have another little look at that as well. But yeah, if you want to keep going on with all what's going on in the workshop here and keep it in, press that subscribe and like button and it'll fill you in every single week. So guess what, guys? Like, share, catch you next week.